Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, having a great banking relationship is critical to the success of all companies, but we'll be talking to an amazing entrepreneur who says you might be leaving money on the table. He'll explain next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I love to read books about history and about successful business owners, and almost each one of them had one of those moments where they're this close to bankruptcy, they can't pay their bills, and then a bank saves them. But my next guest says if you have a traditional banking relationship, you could be leaving money on the table. Kassar is in the studio. He's the founder and CEO of Multifunding. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks so much. Always a pleasure to be with you, my friend.
Absolutely. You were on my show 3 years ago, and we just got reconnected through EO. Shout out to Entrepreneurs Organization, and I said, let's get you back on the show. So you've got some exciting news. You're starting to go into a different area.
We are. So, I can't believe it. It's been almost 15 years since I started. And over the last several years, we've built tremendous expertise in SBA lending, which is not easy to do. To get an SBA loan can be complex. It can take time. And we've really built a service advocating for clients through the process, and we do it nationwide. But one of the things, like any business, is we've realized that you also need to diversify. You can't just have all your eggs in one basket. So 97% of our revenue for the last couple of years has come from essentially helping people get SBA loans. And so we've been working for a couple of years to try find a bank who we think will be great to work with our clients who we hold so dearly to us, who we trust and they trust us, to help them with their broader banking relationships and their lines of credit. And we've just launched after banks can be a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of sweat and blood. But we're super excited about our new relationship with Owners Bank, which is a fintech division of an old line established bank in Connecticut called Liberty Bank, and we're learning a lot, and it's really interesting.
And tell us how this differs from traditional ways that banks lend money.
I think it's important for people to understand how banks make money and then the relationships they want to have with you. First of all, banks want your deposits and they want your banking, and then they want to pay you the least amount they can get away with on their deposits, and they want to hit you at the highest amount of fees for your bank account, and then they want to lend you money at the highest rates possible. So it all really starts with a deposit relationship. And what shocks me, as we've rolled out with Owners Bank, is how many entrepreneurs and actually EO members have a couple of $100,000 sitting in their business banking account and are getting paid like 0.25% on it. Okay, and they should be getting, like, in today's market, it'll go down a little bit as interest rates start to go down further. They should be getting paid like 4.25%, 4.5%. Okay, that's a huge difference, and they don't know better. So that's one part about just leaving money on the table that I really encourage every business owner and entrepreneur to figure out, like, is your bank paying you? And if not, why? Like, that's your hard-earned money.
Yes.
They're lending it out. They should be paying you for it. And if they're not, why not? The other thing that's super interesting, Jeff, is that, I don't know, how often do you go to your bank branch? Do you ever go?
Yeah, maybe once a month.
For what?
To make a deposit or something like that.
Why couldn't you just do that on your iPhone?
Of course I could, but I'm a baby boomer, so sometimes I like to just go see a teller.
It's pretty interesting. Here's my journey in banking. Again, I'm an entrepreneur, and I started with Wells Fargo. And I wasn't practicing what I preached, but I knew they were too big. They didn't care about me, but it was just easy and convenient. And then a couple years ago, they lost one of my wires. And I actually counted up all the time on my cell phone I spent tracking that money, and it was 8 hours and 37 minutes.
Wow.
And I think I must have spoken with people in 14 states. I finally found my money, but then I'm like, this is crazy. So I live in Philadelphia, and I moved, kind of a banking geek. Okay, so I moved to a small community bank that we have a relationship with in Sacramento because I said, I never go to my branch. And the technology worked great, except suddenly I realized the bank's not paying me for my deposits. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I'm getting these little pesky $50, $70, $90 account management fees every few weeks on my account that I don't think I even signed up for. And so we don't look at the banking relationships, but we should. The bank doesn't have to be local, but they should be paying us for our deposits. They should not be hitting us with crazy fees. And they should be giving us a line of credit. Every business, a line of credit should be part of the furniture. Yes. At around 10% of the top line sales.
Ali, I think you're absolutely brilliant. You're a disruptor, and when you started this company, you absolutely disrupted your industry. We found a great overview video. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
I was the Chief Innovation Officer for the largest issuer of credit cards to small businesses in the United States, and we completely decimated in the Great Recession. I said, I want to create a service where entrepreneurs and business owners can come and truly understand their loan options and to help them through that path and navigate through that process. That raw value and what we want it to be is exactly what we are doing, and we continue to strive to do better and better every day.
We help people understand the loan process, help them prepare documentation, help them analyze their opportunities.
A lot of individuals have just never been through a loan process. They're afraid of debt. We want to be attached to them at the hip.
I love sitting in on those initial or, second conversations where you're just telling them all that's available to them and they had no idea.
We're going to be upfront, honest, transparent right from the start.
Honesty and transparency, that's something we've always been about.
We really see ourselves as business consultants.
I think we have a personal aspect added in there that really makes people feel comfortable.
There's a story behind every business. And that's the fun part of what we do, is getting to hear the story and then finding the right lender for them. We're really good matchmakers.
Being that we are a feasible term debt solution advisor, we've always been a party to helping with SBA loan facilitation. That just has become our expertise.
But we do all sorts of lending. The best lender for any business may not be in their backyard. And that's where we really come in handy. We have relationships with all different kinds of lenders across the country.
We're not a quick flip and burn shop. Yeah, we can put that customer in that loan product and make a higher commission, but it's going to destroy their business. Not what we do.
Our job is to help our clients sleep well at night. And that really is having that cash flow management under control.
Properly financing debt can be the difference of somebody bellying up or them being able to go from $2 million to $5 million to $10 million and create a successful business.
It is a really tough space to navigate on your own.
This can become basically a second full-time job. We can really help the process keep moving forward.
Small businesses are the backbone of our country. They hire more people, they're more creative.
Getting a loan is a journey. We're there to the finish line and then after. And we're going to hold our clients' hands and advocate for them all the steps along the way.
You change people's lives.
Wonderful video. So, Ami, a lot of people want to know, how do you get compensated? What's the structure? Sure.
We get paid by the lender when we close the loan. That's in our SBA business, and that will be the same in our banking relationships. We'll get a small yield from the bank. So the core tenet to us is that the borrower is not paying anything extra to work with us, and we get paid on success. So we're going to hold our client's hand right to the finish table, or we don't eat.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great business model. No wonder you're so successful. We're also going to show your best-selling book. It's called The Growth Dilemma. Tell us about the book.
Look, I think that one of the things we don't talk enough about in all the learning we do in EO and the entrepreneurial ecosystem is risk, right? Everyone just has a different appetite for risk. And there's really no wrong answer or right answer. I mean, I joke about it, but it's kind of true. I came close to selling my firstborn a couple of times when I built the company, okay? A lot of people would never do that, and risk tolerance changes over time. So the growth dilemma is how much fuel do you want to throw in the fire and how much risk do you want to take? And what I always say is find your risk level that you're comfortable with and then sleep well at night. Like, who wins the race? There are different types of entrepreneurs, and and it goes at different speeds at different times, and sometimes the tortoise wins the race. I'm not a big lover of the Inc. 5000 model, which is just encouraging and celebrating rapid, high-level top-line growth. That often leads to disaster. So find your comfort zone, find your risk tolerance that will let you sleep at night, and go for it.
Wow, absolutely brilliant. You're also a very popular podcaster. We're going to pull up the podcast page off of your website. Tell us about OmniSites.
Yeah, so I started podcasting somewhere in the middle of the pandemic because my team told me to. And I can't believe it. We have now 187 editions. We do one every week. And I'd love to will you be on my show once, Jeff?
Absolutely, I'd be honored.
Yeah, I'd love to have entrepreneurs on there mostly to tell their stories. We don't have a pre-prepared script. We dig in and we talk and we try to learn about what makes you tick and your journey and how you got there and some of the challenges you're facing. And I try not to make it a selling. I don't like consultants on there, although they sneak in sometimes. I really like it, for the most part, to be the stories of entrepreneurs and their journeys.
Wow, I can certainly see why you are so beloved and your company is so successful. In the last 2 minutes, why don't you have a little call to action? So if somebody's watching this video right now and says, I think I need to contact Ami, what does that call look like? What does that Zoom look like?
So first of all, please feel to reach out to us at multifunding.com anytime, or I have a daily blog called omnisites.com. It's like a little 30-second read each morning. But really, well, the story's evolved a little bit. Okay. 2 weeks ago, call us if you have a financing need. Today, call us if you have a financing need, and if you want to explore your banking relationship and see if what you're doing makes sense, and if you make sure that you're not leaving money on the table.
Wow. Great way to end this segment. We're also going to leave you with his website, which is multifunding.com, the great Ami Kassar. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks, buddy.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.